two houses, both alike in dignity and... Wait a second. Hi guys, for those of you who don't know me, I'm RJ, I'm Will's boyfriend, and I've been asked to fill in today because Will unfortunately has to deal with a death that recently occurred in the family. I'm taking care of his video today so that he can go take care of his family's affairs. But don't worry, he's been holding up really well. He just has to, help his family make preparations. But on a much lighter note, we are telling you guys, I guess, Valentine's Day themed stories this week, and I thought just to keep it interesting, I wouldn't look up my Wikipedia articles ahead of time. I was gonna try to incorporate them as I went and only, be able to know one Wikipedia article at a time. Let me start by, I guess, introducing the protagonist of this story, a young little boy by the name of Will Shepherd. Now, little Will hailed from the 25th meridian west from Washington, which, as we all know, Washington is really not a very accepting part of the country. So poor Will had to grow up in an environment where he just felt like he couldn't be himself. He didn't like to play football with the rest of the boys, unless of course they tackled him, at which point he really loved it, but really didn't feel at place, going to church and trying to pick up girls in his quaint little borough of Washington. So, okay. Luckily, in his thirst for adventure, he was reading a book of short stories by Ernest Hemingway and came across The Gambler, the Nun, and the Radio. Luckily, as we all know, as we all have read the story of The Gambler, the Nun, and the Radio, it encouraged him to venture off and to go and find himself. And so, who is this? Oh my gosh, okay. He traveled all the way to Tallahassee, Florida. He didn't intend to go to Tallahassee, but that's just kind of where he ended up. And he saw this sort of shining beacon that was Florida State University off in the distance, and was drawn to this light. And when he saw the source of the light, he was at the base of a tower, and there was Edita Morris, the Swedish-American writer and political activist, who, as we all know, has fought for the rights of people just like little Will. But unfortunately, little Will didn't really know what made him different, and it took Miss Edita Morris to tell him, went to him and was like, "My son, why have you come to me?" And he goes, "Well, I just haven't felt a part of my environment. I haven't felt at home or safe with my family over in Washington, and I wandered trying to find myself, but I fear I may have wandered too far." And Edita said, "Fear not, Will, there's nothing wrong with you, you're simply a homosexual." And Will was like, "What was that?" And she says, "Well, it's just simply someone who falls in love with people of the same gender." And oh my god, this is too perfect. And where I come from in Norway, the LGBT people in Norway have much more rights, and so I have come to America to enlighten the people of America. And while learning from Edita Morris, he met this young, beautiful little boy by the name of RJ. They had this beautiful wedding that was said by Edita herself, because she's the one that introduced them, and they lived happily ever after the end. I know that's not nearly as structured as the rest of you guys, because quite frankly, I had no idea where I was going with this when I started. Hope you guys have an interesting Valentine's Day. Unfortunately, the two of us probably won't have a very good Valentine's Day. The weekend before, we're going to be having a lot of fun. We're going to be doing like going to a lingerie party and stuff like that. But on actual Valentine's Day is when Will's going to have to be a pallbearer in the funeral, unfortunately. So we're planning, the two of us are planning on probably doing Valentine's Day later on in that week, because actual Valentine's Day is probably going to suck. So that said, I'm going to stop depressing you all, and as Will would say, talk to you peeps later. Bye.